Traveller in 5e. A lot of people are celebrating, a lot of people are panicking, and a ton of people are completely confused. So let's figure this out together. Recently, a major announcement startled the Traveller community. It was revealed that a new project called Traveller 5e is being developed as an official adaptation of the Traveller universe, but built on the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules engine. This announcement came through Mongoose Publishing, who clarified that the mechanical design isn't theirs, but the lore oversight is. And as soon as the news hit, reaction spread fast. Excitement, concern, speculation, terror, and a whole lot of misunderstandings. So in this video, I want to explain exactly what Traveller 5e is, what it isn't, and what it truly means for the future of Traveller. Hey Travelers, I'm Frank from CyborgPrime Games. I've been part of the Traveller community for years, interviewing creators, running the Mayday events, and making compatible tools and adventures for the sci-fi RPG system I love most. And whenever big news hits the community, I try to help sort through the confusion and explain things as clearly and accurately as I can. So let's talk about Traveller 5e. The very first thing we need to clarify, because this is where almost all of the confusion comes from, is the meaning of 5e. In tabletop gaming, 5e almost universally refers to the rules engine of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So when people saw the words Traveller 5e, their immediate assumption was, oh no, is Wizards of the Coast involved? Is Traveller being absorbed by D&D? But they haven't. Wizards of the Coast has no involvement in this project. Traveller 5e is simply using the mechanical framework of the 5e rule set, the same approach used by Star Wars 5e, the One Ring 5e, and dozens of other adaptations. Using the 5e engine does not make this a D&D product. It just means that Traveller's universe is being adapted to run on a 5e style rules engine, not that Traveller is being absorbed into Dungeons & Dragons. Traveller 5e is being developed by a company called World's Largest RPG, not Mongoose Publishing. Mongoose's involvement is purely on the lore side, making sure the Third Imperium and the original Traveller universe remain consistent, but they are not designing the mechanics. And they're absolutely not replacing their existing game. Traveller 5e is simply an alternate way to play Traveller for people who already know the 5e rules engine and want to explore the Imperium without learning a brand new mechanical system. So here's where the naming gets tricky. Traveller already has something called Traveller 5, or T5. That's Mark Miller's edition. Traveller 5e is not that. It's not Traveller 5. It's not the 5th edition of Traveller, and it's not an update or replacement for Mongoose Traveller 2nd edition. And it's not the beginning of a new official core rule line. This is a rules conversion, a parallel branch on Traveller's very large family tree, right next to GURPS, T20 Traveller, Hero Traveller T5, and all the other different versions. These all coexisted peacefully for decades. So now let's talk about the branding issue, because that's where a lot of the frustration comes from. Now we have, excuse me. Now we have Traveller, Traveller 5, and Traveller 5e. Three completely unrelated things other than the name Traveller, whose names look extremely similar. From a marketing perspective, that's going to cause some confusion. It's going to confuse new players, returning players. It's going to confuse search engines. It's going to confuse gaming stores and even other publishers. The community will probably end up using T5e as an unofficial shorthand to distinguish the 5e powered version from Mark Miller's Traveller 5. But officially, the name Traveller 5e was chosen simply because it uses the D&D 5th edition engine, not because it represents the 5th edition of Traveller. So let's talk about why this exists. Traveller's fan base is incredibly passionate, deeply knowledgeable, and very loyal. But we are also getting older and aging out. The average Traveller player today is over 50. I'm 57 myself. Most of us have been exploring the Traveller universe for 20, 30, or even 40 years. And if we want Traveller to still be alive in another 50 years, we need a way to bring in younger players. People who are entering tabletop gaming right now. And whether we personally prefer 5e or not, the reality is clear. Most new tabletop RPG players learn the hobby these days through the 5e rules engine. It's familiar, it's accessible, it's comfortable. Traveller 5e gives those players a gentle on-ramp into the Third Imperium, a way to explore the lore without having to learn an entirely new system on day one. Now, not all of those players will migrate to 2d6 Traveller, but some will. And even those who don't still enrich and become part of the larger Traveller ecosystem, buying books, learning the lore, and keeping the universe alive into the future. So this is probably the biggest fear right now, that Traveller 5e signals the end of the 2d6 system. But everything I've seen says no. Mongoose has said directly and repeatedly that Traveller 2nd Edition is their game and it will remain their main line. They're not replacing it, and they're not transitioning away from it. They're not merging 5e mechanics into it. Traveller has already coexisted with more versions than almost any RPG in history. We've got Classic Traveller, Mega Traveller, Traveller of the New Era, T4, T5, T20, GURPS Traveller, Hero Traveller, and Cepheus Engine, and it has never lost its identity. Traveller has survived nearly 50 years coexisting with these other versions. And Traveller 5e is no threat to the 2d6 system that's been around for 50 years. Here's the other major concern. Traveller is a grounded, practical, and at times brutally dangerous game. Combat can be lethal, space is unforgiving, and character creation carries risks. The 5e engine, by comparison, creates a more heroic, survivable experience for its players. These are kind of different philosophies, and that's okay, because Traveller 5e isn't supposed to feel identical. It's a different flavor, a different approach, a different way to explore the same universe. And importantly, the existence of Traveller 5e does not alter your 2d6 Traveller game in any way. Your books still work, your house rules still work, your campaigns, sectors, and homebrew starships still work exactly as they always have. It's also worth remembering that none of us have seen the actual rules yet. Excuse me. We haven't seen ship combat, we haven't seen how careers work, and we haven't seen lethality, scaling, or equipment. Right now, both the excitement and the panic are kind of running ahead of the facts. So what does this mean for the future? It means Traveller is expanding, not shrinking. It means millions of players who might never have looked at Traveller now have a door into the Traveller universe. Some will stay in 5e, and some will migrate to 2d6. Some will play both. Some will explore Cepheus and some of the other different offshoots. All of them strengthen the community and help keep Traveller alive. For those of us who've been here for decades, we now have a choice. Do we slam the door shut, or do we guide new players and help them discover why Traveller has lasted nearly half a century? If we want Traveller to survive us, we need to welcome new players and let them make the universe their own. If you love the 2d6 Traveller system, nothing about this announcement changes your game. Your campaign continues exactly as it always has. Now, I want to hear from you. Will you try Traveller 5e? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you find this breakdown helpful, hit like and subscribe. I've got more Traveller videos, GM tools, and adventures on the way. And thanks for watching. And until next time, my friends, happy traveling. This journey is fueled by my patrons. Thank you, patrons.